I am an everyday athlete.
I am an everyday athlete.
I am an everyday athlete.
Good morning, everyone. This is Jarrett Bass with Mark McCain, and you're listening to Everyday Athlete, a podcast devoted to bringing you the amazing stories behind the lives of day-to-day CrossFit athletes like yourself. Today, a very special guest. He's not even a member here. Well, technically not.
Not really.
Welcome back, Steve.
Yeah.
Welcome
I come and
back.
go.
Steve.
Yeah.
Steve.
Oddly enough, especially with the hair, he looks younger than I am, but he's technically my uncle. So, yes.
How's that work?
Another family affair. How's that work? Well, when a man loves a woman. My mom is the oldest, and Steve's the youngest, and I'm the oldest child of my mother's. So we're close enough. How old are you again?
41.
Holy crap.
No way. That's not. I need to see some ID.
So I have 9 years, but still pretty darn close. I mean, I remember growing up.
We were all more like brothers than we were
Being
nephews.
in grandma's
Would you ever
house.
like play that card though every once in a while? Like, I'm your uncle.
We have traded IDs to get into the bar.
Oh, yeah.
Just to try. And it worked. They're just kind of
Oh,
looking
nice.
at it like just to see.
Close
And
enough.
my brother's 6 years older than me. I used his ID.
Well, the way it worked out was, so how old's Eric?
35?
He's got to be older than 35.
35 or 36. There's like a...
So anyways, like it was Steve and then Eric and then Ryan and me. So we were all close enough in age, and like I was, I would roll with Ryan and Eric, and Steve and Eric would hang out a lot. So it all kind of worked out, and grandma everybody's at grandma's house all the time. So all parents worked
Or
and
mom,
things like that.
whatever.
Or mom. Yeah, not your grandma. Mom for you. Barb for the rest of us. So anyways, there's a small family history for the unknowing. But the reason we have Steve on here is Steve's your first CrossFit workout was, real CrossFit workout was way back when at the old NKY, is that correct?
Yeah, and...
Hurt himself.
not that day, a couple
Not
days
that day,
afterwards. So, yeah, I came in at your advice. You need to try this out. So I came.
Because you were, I was definitely overweight. You were a little bit heavier than you were now.
Heavier, and I was probably a lot of the people come in here and do. I was biking, running, even tried some triathlon, stuff like that, and the P90X and Insanity and all that stuff. And I was getting bored with all that. And Jared says, you need to try out CrossFit. And Jared had been doing CrossFit probably for a year by then. So I got paired up with him on one of the community Saturday workouts. And Jared has a competitive nature. I have a competitive nature. So I'm trying to keep up with this guy who's been doing CrossFit for a year, doing box jumps.
Yeah, regardless of skill level, usually just having a year of experience under your belt, you're going to be on the low end, even if you're actually physically more athletic. There's just little things you pick up over time that makes things easier. How to do a wall ball consecutively and feel comfortable with it.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that day I hit myself in the face with the med ball about 6 times. 24-inch box jumps were the worst thing I've ever done. And then it was every minute on the minute. I think we had to do like 5 or 10 push-ups or something like that. So I made it through, and then I had the chest burn and just laid on the ground for probably a good half hour after that.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
And it was about 4 days after that, I just picked something up off the floor, and my back just like tightened up.
Yeah.
And for about a good solid 6 months, I had a curved spine and walked like this.
Steve's like,
walked in
I
circles.
can't believe you made me do that. But to anyone's fault, or more so, I guess, even their benefit of the doubt, we didn't know as much as we did back then, unfortunately.
Right.
So you took some time off, and then kind of came back around as we moved out. Did you go to the Covington?
I came back. I was at Covington 1.
The first one?
I came there like a lot of people did on a Groupon, Living Social, whatever it was, something along those lines. and I was scared to do anything. I think I was scared to do a deadlift with a PVC pipe because I thought I was going to hurt my back again.
Yeah.
So I just slowly eased myself back into it, and became stronger and started, like a lot of people, became stronger and started dropping weight really fast and got very interested in CrossFit within months. And I was there 5, 6, even coming in on Sundays, just got to like that obsession point with it.
I think
for a
most
short
people.
while.
I think most people go through. There's
yeah.
I think the progression of more is going to be better because like I'm doing
Yeah.
more. I'm getting stronger. I'm losing weight. I'm looking better. I'm feeling better. And it's like more is better. More is better. More is better. More is better. And then like your burnout phase.
Yes.
I think that usually happens.
And it
myself
did.
included.
Yeah, it did. As I continued to come to those classes, then I started getting involved in competitions, and I can't remember how many competitions, won every season basically. Never super great. I was always intermediate novice level, I guess. And then I always had this aspiration of one day I'm going to make it to like the Masters at the Games, but the Masters at the Games kept on becoming better as I aged on.
As those people who were really good at 29 6 years later are now 35 in
Correct,
the Masters, and they're still really good.
Yeah. But I want to say, let's see, I started probably late 2012.
That's when you started CrossFit.
That's when I started CrossFit.
And
That's when
how
I
old were
officially
you when you were 2012?
That's a lot of math.
Yeah, 36. 36. Yeah.
36. Okay.
Yeah.
Just to give a little baseline.
Yeah.
So whenever you hurt your back, you were like 35, 36.
Yeah, 35, 36. I'd hurt.
Well,
I'd injured my back numerous times before that. It all started with basically a mountain bike injury. I fell crooked and landed a weird way, and I think that's what started the whole back issue for me.
Yeah.
What I don't want to go too far backwards, but what's the athletic kind of background for you? Because I know it's not just, you just didn't one day just start like, oh, I'm just going to start running, doing biking and triathlons.
Yeah. Going way back, I played soccer when I was younger. It was always the rec league. So if anybody is from around Cincinnati, say soccer.
Say soccer.
I played soccer for second grade until 8th, even maybe, I don't know, a little bit into high school. And then into high school, I wrestled for a year. LaSalle, Lancers, go Lancers. Wrestled for a little bit, then stopped doing that. And honestly, I really didn't do anything again until, maybe till I was 21, 22. I did absolutely nothing.
And how'd that work out? Like doing the nothing?
Doing the nothing. It was fine from 21 till about 25.
Okay.
And then
25, it started to.
25, that's when I started turning into Tubby Steve.
We got some good photos of us
there's-
together.
I've seen some.
Yeah.
You've seen some of me. I don't know if you've seen
Inappropriate photos too.
seen some of Steve and I together. It's
Yeah.
pretty solid.
And I started, I would jog here and there, a couple miles here and there. But at the same time, I'd get done with jogging, I'd have dinner, and then I'd go out on the back patio of my apartment and I'd smoke a cigarette. So
Newports?
No, I was
Sorry.
Camel Wides.
Camel
Oh,
Wides.
oh, that says so much
God.
about your personality.
Yes.
Oh, I need that little bit of extra.
So, all right, nothing, 25, and then.
Then jogging here and there, and then I want to say it was 2009. I remember a guy came into my office, and he said, "I would like to start a running group here at the office." I'm like, "Okay, yeah, I'm in," and we're going to run the pig. Like, oh, okay. And
Drinking through a fire hose.
Yeah.
So this is January, pigs in May. I'm
Was
like,
that,
okay.
was that the guy that came a little bit with you? What was his name?
Yeah, Bob.
Bob, that's
Butch,
right,
Yeah.
yeah.
Bob is down in Nashville now.
Bob.
Bob.
Bob. Yeah, he moved to Nashville. If you happen to watch this, Bob, I know you're still cycling, but you don't do CrossFit anymore.
Bobby.
So myself and 2 other people, we trained. We did the pig. That was the only time I ever did a full marathon.
Shoot, that's crazy.
I screwed up my hip flexor
Yeah, no
sometime in the middle of the run, and I was limping halfway through, but I said, I trained for 5 months. I'm going to follow through with this. Then after that, I said, I need a new goal. I picked up a bike. So I started cycling. And then, I had little goals of, okay, I want to cycle a century, which is bike 100 miles in a day. I did that a couple of times. I rode the MS 150. That's 150 miles over 2 days. Once I completed that, I was like, I'd like to try something else. So let me try a triathlon, which I did. And it went pretty horribly because I can't swim.
Yeah, that's a component. There's 3.
Yeah, I know.
There's 3.
Yeah.
So try. If you're not aware, guys, try.
Yeah, I tried a triathlon one time. I'm pretty sure during the swim I got kicked in the head. Maybe I got a concussion, something along those lines. I don't know.
I heard
That's
the
most
I heard the
dangerous thing,
swim is the scariest part.
Yeah. It wasn't like I was in Rapids. It was at East Fork Lake.
Yeah.
But still, when you have 50 to 75 people all running in the water together, and there's arms and heads and legs all flailing, and you really can't see where you're going. I basically doggy paddled most of it.
Yeah.
But the bike and the run went great. Never did another triathlon after that.
Well,
How long? Sorry, how long did that take you? Like the triathlon?
It was a sprint, so this
Just a roundabout isn't to be like.
Maybe 2.5 hours, I want to say.
yeah, because it's like how long is the swim on
The
that?
swim's 500 meters, I
500
want to
meters.
say, and then the bike is 12 miles. If any triathletes are watching this, pardon me if I'm getting this incorrect.
Yeah.
We have a big triathlon.
Yeah.
following, so.
Bike 12 miles, and the run is a 5K.
Gotcha.
And then the marathon took you how long?
Marathon took me 4 hours and 39 minutes.
Jeez Louise.
Yeah. Well, a couple things there is there's clear goal setting, and that happened somewhere along the way, right? And I think that started with probably running, from what it sounds like, anyways. Like
Right.
I have this. Well, I've got this fitness goal, and at the time it's like that seems super daunting, and then you kind of get through that, and you're like, okay, well, I can do that clearly. So what's next? And then B, you talk about it's like hurting yourself on a run or something like that. It seems so simple, and running's one of those things. We talked about like a back injury with CrossFit. Well, clearly a pre-existing condition if you fell off a mountain bike, and there's probably a pre-existing condition on why you hurt your hip flexor too. But unfortunately with runners, it's like you go run a 5K and it's, well, I'm a runner now. And there's not a lot of that. As far as running goes, it's about the shortest range of motion you can get. I mean, a full-on sprint is one thing. You're about as stretched out as you can be, but basically at 26 miles? 26 point.
26 point.
Don't sell that point
26.
two.
26.2.
Yeah, don't show me that point
So,
two.
you know the history of why that is 26.2?
Oh, let's hear it.
Do you know?
Yeah. The guy ran. You were just there, right?
No, it has nothing to do with that. It's one of the Olympics. They wanted it. I want to say it was over in Europe, and they wanted it to finish in front of a certain building, so they extended it to point 2 to make it finish in front of whatever building. It has nothing to do with the actual.
No, I heard it was like there was some like myth of some guy ran that long to like warn about some. I don't know.
Yeah, whatever.
Anyway, and then
Anyways, I digress.
The guy, the last name was something to do with like marathon. But I don't know. Anyway, I could be wrong.
We'll Google that later.
You
and
know,
then one of us is wrong.
We're gonna get a lot of hate mail for this.
But I guess the point is with that
This
is
was wrong. That name was wrong.
My question is do you think incorporating, for someone who's ran a marathon, we have quite a few people here that run marathons. Had you done something like CrossFit, under the guidance of someone who isn't like your nephew just telling you show up, but like now, if I were to put you through a program, I think there's a direct benefit from that long distance stuff to what we consider short, high intensity stuff.
Yeah, I went actually after doing CrossFit for a year. I have done the Thanksgiving Day race 10K, and I've also done just 2 half marathons. And the half marathons, which is significantly easier than doing a full marathon, but on top of that, it felt so much easier. I remember hitting mile 9 marker of the pig and seeing that mile 9 was already here and thinking, wow, this came so much quicker. This was so much easier. But I can see how everything transitions, I had been doing a lot more incorporating, in addition to CrossFit, I also incorporated more weighted running with sandbags, prowler pushes, stuff like that, all to get my legs stronger and build up my endurance.
Weird. If your glutes and hamstrings are stronger, running's easier.
Yeah.
I can't.
Go figure.
Go figure.
Did you find it was hard to make the transition from basically these long kind of events, like you mentioned, like 2 hours, 4 hours, to shorter, intense, like as far as now I got a red line on a shorter time domain?
Yeah, and I still struggle to this day on those shorter, quick little workouts, which, I mean, we can get to in a little bit, which I hardly do anymore. But when you throw a Fran in there or a Grace in there, it's hard for me. But if you say, hey, we're going to do a 30-minute chipper today, I'm like, excellent, let's do it.
Yeah.
I love it. I love the idea of doing
jam.
that. Yes.
And I see that with Jarrett a little bit too, with the soccer and cross country background, where, you know, I'm a little more, you know, I guess shorter sprints. Not that I'm, you know, that's still not necessarily a specialty for me personally, but definitely the longer ones I definitely struggle with more than kind of the shorter time domain workouts. And I remember I was training a guy for a little bit. You guys know, it was at the old gym, and I think he got second in the pig. You know,
Yeah.
and it was this amazing endurance athlete. And he came to me and was like, I want to do 20 pounds of muscle on. And I remember doing like short, like minute max effort workouts with him. And then we'd do like a minute rest. And we would do like a minute of like just like max row, and then like a minute max burpees, like all this like max, like just like should, you know, put you on your back kind of stuff. And every time we would get done, he'd be like, all right, what's next? I'm like, like I just couldn't get him. I couldn't get him to tap into that like full, because he was just so used to like running, you know, these long events and so on and so forth.
So his max was probably actually 80%.
Yeah, exactly.
He would
so
never
it was
push.
really, you know, and we see athletes with those backgrounds come in all the time, where it's like you have to go, you know, into this pain cave, so to say, for this short amount of time, like you said on a Fran, like 2 minutes, and you know, obviously for the majority of people, it's more than that, but you see these obviously professional CrossFitters, let's call them what they are now, do these 2-3 minute Frans, and they are just, that's a special skill, you know, regardless of, you know, everyone can do the pull-ups and thrusters at that weight, at that level. So it's really, so I think that I find that really interesting, from coming in from an endurance background to seeing that transfer to CrossFit.
I want to just fact check here. So
Sure.
just so you guys are aware.
Okay.
No, because
Prove me wrong.
we were both right, actually. It was the original marathons were talking about from Marathon, Greece was where it came from. And from site of Marathon in Greece to Athens, the distance was about 40 kilometers or 25 miles. And then in 1908, Queen Alexandra wanted the race to start on the lawn of the Windsor Castle and finish in front of the royal box of the Olympic Stadium, which was 26.2. So then it was standardized later.
Selfish.
So there you go. There's your history lesson for the day.
Facts.
So
It's on the internet.
Good to know.
It's on the
Good to
internet.
know.
It's got to be true.
It's got to be true. What I want to kind of go into is, so now you're more of we have kind of now an extensive, you've built up pretty long athletic background now. I mean, I haven't done a marathon. I've done a Spartan race, which is, it's actually a half, but it's broken up, that kind of thing. But basically, as far as athletics goes, you've got a pretty extensive background now, over starting at 21, 25, and then now 41. So it's a decent amount of time in the fitness world. And now you're kind of in this place where you're self-motivating a lot, what we consider the garage gym guy, right? So you've built basically a home gym.
Yes, over the past 5 years. Let's see, my daughter was born in 2010, and I started CrossFit in 2012 and realized that I couldn't do all of my workouts at a gym, you know, after spending so much, 5-6 days there. And I said, well, no, I got to spend some more time at home. So I need to start doing some workouts at home. So I started building the gym at home, bought some bumper plates, found an old bar on Craigslist. I had an old weight bench that I bought years ago from Dick's, had some steel plates. Started out very basic. Made a lot of stuff. Like I don't know if there's any DIY garagers out there, but my first med ball was a $7 basketball that I bought from Target, and a $3 bag of sand that I bought from Home Depot. I cut a hole in the basketball, filled it up with sand, made it 20 pounds, wrapped it up with duct tape. That was my first med ball.
There you go. What's your go-to? Because I'm sure there's some people who do like to make their own stuff. What was your go-to? Is there like a one site that you would go to for a lot of that stuff, or is it just like anywhere you're collecting?
Anywhere that I would collect things. There's Instructables.
Yep.
Is one where I built parallettes from that. I built the plyo box from that, built a med ball from that. There's even instructions on how to make your own kettlebells from steel pipes and things like that. First chin-up bar was just a piece of gas line that I hung from some J-hooks in the basement.
That's a piece of gas line. The things the rings are hung from. Yeah. I mean, that's how Rogue sells them.
Yeah.
So yeah, it was just starting out with Instructable stuff before I actually had the time and the money to pay for real equipment, getting a nice bar, getting some decent bumper plates, getting a nice rig,
Sure.
Which I didn't get a nice rig just until this last Christmas. So it took me 5 years to buy a decent rig instead of one that I found on Craigslist that was falling apart. So
Right. That's super. I want to take a quick break, and we'll come back and we'll hear a little bit more about how we are motivating ourselves when it's not in this like group fitness setting. So we'll be right back. CrossFit is demanding both physically and mentally. Setting goals are the foundation to push your athletic ability, and the hour we have together a day may not always be in line with those personal milestones you've set for yourself. Triumph Performance is based around just that, your goals. Together in a one-on-one setting with your coach, we will set manageable and timely goals. Your program, unique to your needs, will accelerate the path to your target. Most have an idea of where they may want to go, but together with your Triumph Performance coach, we will assess your fitness level, develop a custom fitness plan, and keep you on track to successfully complete your goal. For more information, please contact a coach or email info@triumphstrength.net. There it is. That's beautiful.
and we're back.
This show is sponsored by coffee.
That's how we're going to start. All right, sponsored by coffee. We are back here with Steve Buelterman, or as Mark put it, what was that?
Buelterman?
How do you say that?
Buelterman.
Is it a silent B?
Buelterman?
So I get obviously same family but different last names here. I get a lot of Bastion. There's someone throws in extra I, Bastion. And you get a lot of Buelterman.
Buelterman. Some people put the L after the B, make it Bluterman. I don't know how you do that, but yeah, it's all over the place.
Maybe dyslexia is a bigger problem than we thought.
Right. It's rampant.
We left just a minute ago talking about basically building a home gym. This is completely different than what most people are used to. I think a lot of people come to us basically because they need that group atmosphere. They need that push, that added extra, like, I'm not going to do this unless someone tells me to do it.
Accountability.
Yeah, it's just accountability, right? So I think one of the questions that Mark had was, what's the accountability for you now? Because I think, let's just say...
How has that changed?
Yeah, because way back when, if you went to one workout and said, well, I'm just going to do this on my own, which we've heard before. We've actually heard that from people who said they're going to go away for a little bit. I'm going to do this on my own. And we see them 9 times out of 10 either stop doing CrossFit or come back. So would that have been different had you started, right off the bat? Or, what does that look like for you as far as how do you keep accountability for yourself?
It's tough. And shameless plug here. So... as we're gonna call it. So I am dating somebody that's younger than me. It's tough to keep her around. So in order to keep her around, my accountability is,
you got to keep this good.
I got to keep the body looking good to keep Karma Crash happy. Karma Crash, if anybody doesn't know her, Andrea Hogan, she was a member of the gym too for a little while. So,
I think the big reason you guys stopped coming, hopefully it wasn't us. It was more you guys were driving.
It was distance.
Where you live at?
Live in Eastgate.
Yeah, so that's
So
a
the
haul.
drive here is about 40 minutes.
Yeah.
The accountability.
It's a closer commute to your garage. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, it is. And the accountability is tough. So in addition to working out at home, I also work from home. So my remote office is a 4th bedroom in my house. And it's nice, but it is also difficult to work in a house all day and then say, oh, well, now I have to go into the basement or the garage, depending on the season, and work out. But it's tough.
It provides its own challenges. Like sometimes getting to the gym, I think for a lot of people that have been on this podcast or listen to it, is described as a refuge. Like you can go there and you don't have to worry about maybe in your situation, your daughter walking in and interrupting a workout or the phone,
So working from home presents its own challenges, and working out at home. So my workday never really stops. I work from home. I have technicians that work for me that are spread across the United States that may be working in a different time zone. So sometimes my work days are from 6 until 10 p.m. So I squeeze the workout in when I can. So where a workout in this gym might be an hour, it becomes 3 to 4 hours at home just because I have to break it up throughout the day. The motivation to keep doing it is really in how I feel. If I don't do something, if I don't do some type of athletic activity, for instance, just got back from vacation, was gone for 2 weeks. I felt horrible just because I didn't work out. The scale didn't change, my body didn't change, but I just physically felt bad because I was
mental.
Yeah, I wasn't
toll
working out. I need to do something. I need whether push-ups or squats or I didn't do anything when I was on vacation. When I came back, I was like, I need to get back.
Did you guys have any plans to do anything on vacation?
The last time this was my first time over to Germany. So the last time I was over there, I went to a gym called CrossFit Albstadt. Met a guy named Mark Bitzer, and I had intentions of going back and seeing him again. I went and I got a new T-shirt I was going to bring him. Never visited the gym. Mark, if you watch this, sorry. I'm going to make it to your gym. But yeah, there was an intention to at least go to one gym one time, which never went there.
So we backpacked. So again, for those of you listening, we both kind of went across the pond at the same time, roughly. You guys were a little bit before us, but we backpacked, and we had to pack all of our clothes on our back and make sure that we had everything you needed at any point. You had to fit it into this bag, and it was a carry-on. We didn't check any luggage, and it's like I'm cramming stuff in this bag, and I'm like, Lauren's like, "Will you bring CrossFit clothes?" I'm like, I don't really want to, but she wanted to, so we did, and I'm gonna throw her under the bus. I feel bad, but it's still funny. Our first day there, we walked 15 miles, and I'm like, we're not doing that. There's no way we're going to go to a CrossFit gym. It's like you're walking 10, 15 miles a day. Like that's enough. That's fine.
Yeah.
But to your point, I completely agree. I actually came back and lost weight, and it was like I have to physically, I need to do something. And I think that's part of those healthy habits. They're tough to build, but they also become tough to break. And it's a good habit to have,
Well, it's kind of almost like that self-awareness, though. You guys being able to realize that, like, once you get back, you're like, all right, what was it? All right, I didn't eat Rice Krispie treats every day.
Right.
No, it was I didn't work out. And it's like, understanding like, hey, because I feel like there's so many people, like you said, that it's a hard habit to form, and people don't really know what they're missing until they are kind of constantly engaging in some type of physical, regimen.
Absolutely. So you have, so I think another thing too is are you still following a program? Because you went to a lot of weightlifting for a little while.
Correct. Yeah. So
I guess my point is you basically still had a quote coach, or at least something you're following. It's not Steve just throwing. He's not getting on the hopper.
I'm not doing random. I'm not just thrown through the hopper, WOD generator, or something like that. I'm mostly sticking now to weightlifting and strength. It's something out there. What I've kind of been following for about the past year is programs that are gearing me towards a super total. So a super total is snatch, clean and jerk, deadlift, bench, squat. So
#MASH Elite.
#MASH Elite. That's one of his programs. So I was I followed MASH Elite for about 2 years. There's some other programs, Juggernaut Training, following those guys for a little bit. So my accountability was the coaches at MASH. They constantly check in on you. You're posting videos to Facebook. They're checking your form. They're also asking you, how you're progressing. What do we need to change? They were very, very involved. And my accountability is my little white notebook that I keep that tracks my numbers. And seeing that, and when I go into the gym each day and seeing a little bit of progression from whatever it was that I did the week before or 2 weeks before, and saying, oh, well, maybe it's only 1 pound, but I am progressing a little bit in the clean and jerk or in the snatch or whatever it is. And the accountability was basically the growth and the changes that I seen and the strength that I was gaining.
That's super important. And yeah, the big note there is, even though you're by yourself, you still have to have someone leading the direction at a minimum, something to follow.
You have to have a plan.
Yeah.
Right?
Yes.
I mean, it's just, because you're going to talk yourself out of it real quick if you go out into your garage and you're just like, well, what do I want to do today? And you're maybe warming up a little bit. Literally, I know whenever I've followed programs in the past, like if I just try to go out and work by myself, like I might even just do a short warm up and then hop right into the workout. And I'm like, whoa, I didn't warm up enough.
Yeah.
And just having that little like warm up to actually follow, and acclimate my body to whatever I'm doing that day. If I have a plan, I'm actually going to follow it. If not, I'm just going to rush through it.
Yeah. So, and I know I can definitely answer this, but I want to hear your opinion. What do you think the advantages of something like a class that you would take here versus something you would do at home on your own versus the disadvantage of doing something at home and disadvantages of doing it here?
The advantage at home is that it's my own schedule and I get to do whatever I want. Yes, I know you guys have open gym here, but it's on my own time. It's there whenever I need it. I can walk in the garage in the basement, and I have access to everything you guys have out there. I have at home. Yeah, everything. So
Go to Steve's house.
Go to my house.
Steve, is this secretly you're trying to
sign a waiver? But yes, it's the advantage that, okay, do I want to work out at 6 a.m. or do I want to work out on my lunch break? Do I want to work out at 9 p.m.? Do I want to take a Saturday that, that my daughter may be with somebody else that I can spend 4 hours doing a workout? It's the freedom and the flexibility of being at home. The thing that I don't have is camaraderie, people to talk to, people to push me, somebody to take me off my phone and looking at Instagram while I'm rolling out on the floor for 45 minutes.
Guilty.
Where a 5-rep max back squat here, you guys might get through in 20 to 25 minutes. It's taking me an hour and a half to 2 hours because, I'm going to take, 7 minutes and wrap one knee.
All right.
So the workouts can take a little bit longer, and I also don't have the camaraderie that you guys have here in the gym, which I do miss quite a bit. Working from home and working out at home, I have found that I have forgotten how to talk to a lot of people.
Outside of the business world?
Outside of the business world. I can talk great over the phone or through Skype, but if anybody's watching this, I'm not making eye contact with these two because I'm not on a phone. I've just lost that connection with people. So that's a whole nother podcast of why Steve can't talk to people.
Part two.
Yeah. But that's what I miss there's so many days where I'm like, you know what? I just need to go down there and do, a class at Triumph. And I'm just like, it's 40 minutes. I can go in the basement and do the exact same thing.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's definitely, and there's pros and cons to all of it. I mean, I love, just on a personal level, I love taking class. And I think the time commitment's really nice too. It's nice to be able to, okay, that was an hour. Yesterday was a perfect example for me. Like, I'm still not feeling great and don't feel 100% after said vacations, actually driving down to Asheville for the wedding and everything, and coming back, and it's like, wow, okay, I'm in and out in an hour. I still got a great workout. It's not exactly what I was going to plan on doing, with my lifting protocol, but still did something, and I think that's a huge advantage in where the draw is a lot. But again, the nice thing is sometimes you can put on whatever music you want.
Yep.
You can take your sweet time, and you're not under like, oh, I can try to hit that lift again because I'm not under this stringent time cap.
Yeah, I was actually thinking about that last night. Is that you have whatever you have your time frames in here of you want to max out on a power snatch or something like that, and you only have 15 minutes to get it done in, and once you're done, put your weights away. We got to move on to the Metcon, where I'm like, you know what? I'm going to take a little 5-minute break, sit in this chair, and I'm going to come back and I'm going to try it again. So I have, more attempts and more time to do these things. But again, it's harder to hit those lifts
without the
when you're by
intensity
yourself,
and the people.
and the people.
Have you heard
around
of a little thing called Barbell Club?
No,
Because I
I'd like
see
to
them
hear more
doing that
about
over
it.
there all the time.
Oh, really?
It's the best part about lifting. That's why classes are an hour and a half, people. No, I think there's huge give and take between both of those. And I think it's the cool thing about you is you've done both, you've seen both, and to give a perspective for a lot of people who have never tried to do it on their own, to see the difference between the two and the pros and cons, and the people who have gone away and they're like, well, I'm just going to do this on my own, and realize how hard it is to like do Diane by yourself, or Fran. Like if you're like, all right, Jared, you got to go home today, and like your work is you got to go do Fran. Like, I'm gonna lie to you and tell you I did it. Like, I'm not gonna do Fran on my own. But you get a big group of people. That's why you see, the competition breeds excellence. Is why the CrossFit Games and the CrossFit Open are what they are. It's not usually a bunch of your top people. Usually aren't guys in their garage. I'm not saying that like, you can never be fit, but circumstances arise where that's what you need to do. But I think the intensity and that camaraderie is a big plus to something in the gym. But I agree. I mean, I really enjoy lifting on my own, but when it comes to something like a hard Metcon, I need somebody there telling me like, stop sucking wind and pick up the bar. It's not as bad as you think it is.
It's hard to replicate that intensity.
Yeah.
That's probably the hardest thing I would add, because like you said, you can hit, your numbers. So that the barbell doesn't lie kind of thing, right? You're either going to make a lift, or you're going to miss a lift, you're going to feel how you feel. But when it comes to, like you said, a Diane or something, 21, 15, 9, 3, 2, 1, go. If I'm not feeling good in that set of 15, I might be a little more likely to, you know what? I'm just not going to.
13.
Yeah. 15 sounds
15,
arbitrary.
it said 15, 12, 9. I did 9, 6, 3.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that'll be a big difference there.
But, in a class setting, though, sorry to jump in,
That's all right.
that's not necessarily the case. It's like, all right, I'm not even like, it's not even gonna cross my mind to be like, oh, you know what, I'm just gonna bow out in the middle of class. Like, I'm gonna finish this damn workout, and I'm gonna give it my best, and whatever time I get is whatever time I get. So I feel like that's just because again, this is kind of my home gym, I guess you want to say.
Yeah.
Well, we're here all day, and I've worked out there by myself.
In reality,
here.
we are basically, the majority of my like quote workout, don't say the majority, a decent amount of them are by myself, and it's something I've learned to do. I think somebody said something to me yesterday about like the music that was playing during class. It wasn't like, oh, this sucks. It was like, you like this stuff? I was like, I've completely tuned out anything that's happening. Like, it's just it could be completely silent in here. It's just something I've gotten used to. But again, there's this level that people are used to having in this, in what their mind is, what CrossFit is, like this, screaming like everything's fast and angry, and like, I've been doing it long enough, it don't matter to me, but some people really do need that music. They need that camaraderie, and they need the accountability, and that's what we provide, and there's someone like you've done it long enough that you can kind of go within yourself and like, all right, I'm going to get this done.
And I wouldn't be doing it at home if I wouldn't have started out at a CrossFit gym. If I didn't have that prior training, somebody coaching me, I couldn't have done it on my own by watching YouTube videos or whatever it is. I definitely needed to go somewhere, and CrossFit is where I found basically the building blocks. I still remember Jarrett trying to teach me how to do a push jerk for the very first time with the PVC pipe, and he's telling me, all right, you need to push the bar up and you need to drop down at the same time. I'm like, how does this work? I don't
Yeah.
get it. I need
Physically.
up and then down at this. I don't get it. So, yeah, I mean, 4 years in a CrossFit gym before I finally broke off and started doing everything on my own. It needed, that had to be done.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Laid a solid foundation
Yes.
for
Yeah.
absolutely. So what's next for you then? I mean, is it just continue on with the home gym stuff? Is there, I know if you said you're working towards a super total, you want to ever try super total in a competition setting?
Yes.
We might be hosting the Kentucky one here.
Oh, really? Yes, I would. It will be next. I need to drop in here and get a little bit of help with my snatch because it's gone way off. But yeah, I need some new goal to go after. It's the training. I've been training super total for about 2 years and have seen the numbers go up, and I need somebody to compete against and a new goal to go after.
Yeah, that's one of the most important things is that goal and that driving factor. Because again, if you don't have something that you're pushing towards, there's no point in doing what you're doing. You're just going to continue to, and you might see some progress, but when we're talking about sport, which is what this is, CrossFit is now a sport. Powerlifting is definitely a sport. Olympic weightlifting is obviously a sport. It's in the Olympics. You have to be competing at some level, whether it's with yourself or even better against other people to continue to improve. And without that, then again, you're spinning your wheels.
Yeah.
It's always good to test yourself regardless of how comfortable you are with it. I think that's probably one of the knocks with the home gym people is like, what are you scared of? Like, well, obviously for you, it's circumstance. It's not like you don't have a lot of options right now, so it's a little bit different. Yeah. I think that's a wonderful place to wrap things up. Thank you for being on here, Steve.
Absolutely.
A little insight to a different world of fitness. Same realm, but a little bit different atmosphere. And I think it's really cool
It's
to
good.
see.
It's not for everybody.
Yeah.
I will say that. I mean, even Karma, who lives with me, she struggles with staying consistent with working out at home. She needs a place to go to.
I think we should have a Saturday class out at Steve's house.
Let's
There
do
it
it.
is.
The neighbors would love it. If anybody has seen any of my Instagram stuff, and there's one video where I think I'm doing some overhead axle carries, and I pass Tom, who lives across the street from me. He's getting his mail out of the mailbox, and I'm walking down the street. You just see Tom look up. He's just got the oddest look on his face.
What the heck?
So what's this guy doing now? And dragging weights, pushing weights, throwing barbells.
I'm a doomsday prepper.
Yeah.
You never know what's going to happen.
I'm the talk of the hood.
There
Talk
you
of the
go.
burbs.
Well, again, guys, check us out online, triumphstrength.net. Head on over to Facebook, facebook.com/triumphstrength. Instagram is Triumph Strength as well. Check us out on those. And thank you all for listening to Everyday Athlete. Join us next week as we dive deep into the lives of the people who make us great. Thank you.